A few days ago, I unboxed the Infinix Smart 5 and I was pleasantly surprised to see the bigger than usual battery size and the screen for the price of the smartphone. Now it has decent specifications on paper and a very attractive price of just 7,199 rupees. So, should this be your first choice if you are on a very tight budget? Hello everyone, I'm Aditya Shenoy. You're watching Gadgets 360 and this is the full review of the Infinix Smart 5. Now, if you're new here, I will suggest that you subscribe to the Gadgets 360 YouTube channel and click on that bell icon so that you are notified whenever we upload new videos. From the first glance, the Smart 5 is physically bigger than most other smartphones we have checked out in this price range. At 207 grams, it's also heavier than other phones in this category. Most of it comes from that huge 6000 mAh battery. Now, in order to make it a bit more manageable, Infinix has curved the sides to make gripping the device better. At the back, the company has gone with a flow pattern design which stands out when light hits it. The back is glossy and is a fingerprint magnet. Coming to the front of the smartphone, you have a 6.82-inch HD Plus display with fairly thick bezels all around. The bottom chin is thicker than the sides, but it's acceptable given the price of the smartphone. At the top of the display sits a selfie camera in the dewdrop notch, along with a big earpiece just above it, and this earpiece also happens to be the loudspeaker. Oh, and there's also a selfie flash hidden in between the display and the frame, just like on a few other Infinix smartphones. Let's talk about what powers the Smart 5, and to be honest, it's very modest hardware. It is powered by the MediaTek Helio G25 octa-core processor, which is paired with 2GB of RAM and 32GB of storage. Remember, it comes in only one configuration, so if 2GB of RAM seems inadequate for your needs, you may have to look elsewhere. Storage, on the other hand, is expandable by up to 256GB using the micro SD card slot. How's the performance, you would ask? Well, exactly what you would expect from a smartphone with just 2GB of RAM. It's good for decent casual usage, but ramp the workload up and, well, it stutters while delivering. There isn't a huge scope for multitasking either, and I found the Smart 5 constantly killing apps in the background to keep RAM free. This is expected given the price it is targeted at. For people who only have simple requirements and don't do much at the same time, so you're only watching videos or using Messenger apps, the performance is just about adequate. The phone runs Android 10 with Infinix custom XOS 7 UI on top. Now, the company has made some customizations and you do get a few apps and games pre-installed on the device. Now, Palm Store is an alternative to the Play Store and is one of the pre-installed apps. You also get a bit of spammy notifications from it. The UI on the Infinix Smart 5 is easy to use, and I did not have any issues finding what I was looking for. There's theme support and you can customize the UI your way. There's also game mode on the Smart 5 which turns off auto brightness and prevents the phone from switching between data and Wi-Fi while you're gaming. Speaking of gaming, I loaded up Call of Duty Mobile and the phone was able to run it at low graphics quality with the frame rate set to medium. I did notice stutters while playing this game and the smartphone did slow down occasionally. If you are a gamer hoping to play titles like Call of Duty Mobile, the Smart 5 isn't going to be satisfactory. After playing this game for 10 minutes, the phone was barely warm to the touch and showed a 2% battery drop, which is acceptable. Which brings me to the battery life, which is aided by a bunch of factors that I've already mentioned. One is the sheer size of the battery, 6000 mAh. Then you have an HD Plus display which goes easy on the battery. And also there's a low power processor which again sips the battery instead of gulping it down. The Smart 5 lasted me beyond a day and a half with everyday usage. without any issues. But a downside of the big battery is that charging takes a ridiculously long time, even when using the bundled 10-watt charger. The phone only got to 18% in 13 minutes, while charging it completely took over 2.5 hours. Now let's take a look at the cameras. So you get a dual camera setup on the Smart 5 consisting of a 13 megapixel primary camera and a depth sensor. The camera app is quite basic and easy to use. The primary camera uses AI and was fairly quick to detect the scene I was shooting. Now daylight shots taken with the Smart 5 was strictly average and had slight grain visible on zooming in. The Smart 5 did occasionally overexpose the sky in a few shots, failing to meter light correctly. Text at a distance wasn't legible either. It's also a bit slow at times to lock focus when shooting close-ups. But when it did, it managed to capture good shots with a soft background blur. Portrait shots can be taken using the bokeh mode, but you don't get to set the level of blur. Edge detection was a hit or miss. The AI detects low light and sets the camera up accordingly. However, low light shots lacked sharpness and the color accuracy was off. This phone doesn't have night mode to improve low light photography either. At the front, you have an 8 megapixel selfie shooter. The photos were average in daylight, but low light performance was poorer. You can use the selfie flash for a brighter result, but it doesn't make a significant difference to the image quality. Video recording tops out at 1080p for the primary camera and there's no stabilization yet. Footage was shaky and the dynamic range wasn't very good either. To wrap it up, the Infinix Smart 5 is a budget smartphone with a big display and a big battery. Given these USPs, the phone is good to watch videos on and play casual games. But with only 2GB of RAM, the performance isn't the best we have seen at this price levels. The battery life is pretty good and you won't have to charge it very often. Having said that, the Poco C3 and the Micromax N1B do offer better performance at roughly the same price. So that was my review of the Infinix Smart 5. Now what do you think about this smartphone? Do let me know that in the comments down below. And if this video has helped you make a decision about this smartphone, hit that like button and do consider sharing it with your friends. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to Gadgets360.com.